Don Hancock speaking. Welcome to Love of Life. Friends, why suffer from the miserable symptoms of colds? Take tiny Krypton tablets with the beneficial action 3 out of 4 doctors prescribe. Doctors will tell you that the cold virus enters here through nose and throat passages. Krypton reverses the trend. In case after case, Krypton relieved, checked, and even stopped cold symptoms for good. Why suffer? Why infect your family? Get Krypton, 12 tablets for only 39 cents, and stop cold symptoms fast.
Ben Raven, acting as the unwilling go-between for Judith Lodge and his brother Paul, sets off a tale of unexpected bitterness and passion in today's revealing chapter in Love of Life.
Ladies, controlling household odors is an all-day job, not just when you're cooking fish or airing out smoke-filled rooms. Why? Because offensive odors linger in your home for hours. You may not notice them because you've become accustomed to them, but folks coming in from outdoors are sure to smell them. So, play safe. Odor condition your home with Wizard Wick Deodorizer. It keeps any room in your home sweet-smelling 24 hours a day. Simply raise the wick, and away goes fear of stale tobacco smells, the embarrassing cooking odors of fish, onions, cabbage. Unpleasant smells in any room. Yes, you're safe with Wizard Wick Deodorizer because it works as a continuous odor conditioning unit. Get Wizard Wick Deodorizer, only 39 cents. Other Wick deodorizers cost up to 69 cents, so you save 30 cents. Get Wizard Green Wick for pine scent, Wizard Pink Wick for delicate spring bouquet.
The time is here, Ben. It's the moment I've been waiting for. For how many years? 8? Yes, for 8 years I've been waiting. And the time has finally come to repay my beloved husband for past favors. The time has come for Paul Raven, as they say in Sunday school, to pay the piper. Thank you, Ben. I'm going to pack.
Pack? Why pack?
Why pack? Because I may wish to have a change of clothes when I get the balance bill. Well, at least I'd like to be able to brush my teeth.
Judith, you can't. Well, I wash my hands of the whole business. I think you're some strange, suffering demon sent back to Earth to torture and be tortured.
Ben, such talk. Positively the original hellfire and brimstone speech.
Judith, I told you before
Whatever,
that
Ben, you needn't worry. It isn't you I intend to hurt. It's your brother Paul. So don't worry, Ben. Don't fret.
Judith, if you do what you said you were going to do there in Barrowsville, I swear I think Paul will kill you.
My dear friend, I have been dead for 8 years. Therefore, it is impossible to kill me.
Don't be ridiculous.
I have been dead for 8 stinking, dull, dry years. Ever since the day I first heard your brother tell my father no. 8 years is a long wait, Ben, but when I get to Barrowsville, Paul is going to remember that day. Remember it with me.
Paul said no to what?
It was an early summer day. And Paul had come to my father's house. Come because my father had called him and begged him. Can you imagine that? A man like my father begging Paul Raven. Paul didn't know I was back from Reno. He didn't know I was in the house. He didn't know when I entered my father's study I could see every move, hear every word he said. He didn't know that every word he said that day would stay alive.
Come on, Paul. I'm up here. Well, thank you for coming, Paul.
Mr. Lodge, I know you're not Judith, but frankly, I find it very hard to be civil to you, too. What do you want?
Oh, now, come now, my boy. I'm not used to being talked to like that.
No, I guess not. To the world, you're Herbert Lodge, president of the Valley Power and Light Company, distinguished citizen, community chess president, whatever other fine honors you may have. But to me, you're just Judith Lodge's father, and you can go straight to...
Now, my boy, I know how you must feel. But after all, you've got to learn, well, restraint
Do I?
Yes.
How restrained would you have been if your wife had run off with your best friend? How would you have felt if you suddenly received a gay little note saying, sorry, you poor, sweet, simple fool, but I think it'll work out better for us all this way. Dave and I think we deserve a go at it. We're in love. And you know, Paul, you and I aren't. I memorized that, Mr. Lodge. I keep it close to my heart. Here it is, in Judith's own plain, bold hand. Just the way I found it on my pillow 3 months ago. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make me feel much like restraining myself.
You should have called me, Paul, the moment you found this letter. That very minute.
What for? What good would that have done?
Well, for one thing, it would have been the talk of the entire state. The Lodge name would
The
have...
Lodge name? Mr. Lodge, it just so happens that Raven is a name, too. Mine.
Yes. Yes, of course. It's wrong for me to say that.
Well, all right, what do you want? Why did you beg me to come visit you here?
Paul, I never begged a man to do anything for me in my whole life. Until now.
You mean asking me to come here?
No, I don't mean that at all. I mean asking you what I'm going to ask next.
Mr. Lodge, I don't think you know how I feel. Every bit of self-respect I ever had has been chewed up and tossed into the trash heap by your freewheeling daughter, Judith. And I'm a triple fool for ever having thought that my friends were my friends. So don't try any man-to-man talks with me. I won't go for them.
Now, please, will you please listen to me? You're ambitious, aren't you, Paul?
What's that got to do with anything?
Have you heard from Judith?
I heard that she's in Reno.
Oh, come.
I dare say the next word I hear will be the announcement of our wedding. The dashing, daring Dave Boyce. However, I don't communicate regularly with Judith. If I did see her, I wouldn't be responsible for what I might do and say.
Oh, my boy, please. You're nothing but a pig-headed, shallow, righteous young man. If I really didn't want something from you, I'd be inclined to punch you in the nose.
You mean... You think I'm to blame for all this?
I mean that Judith is wild, Paul, wild. She needs a real man to control her, not a nincompoop like you. No wonder she ran off with somebody else. What did you do, sit up all night and lecture about being virtuous?
I've had it.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not through with you.
Let go of me.
I said I'm not through with you yet. Now, you sit down. I'll let you know when I'm through. Now, you listen to me. The divorce came through a little over a week ago. And if you haven't heard, Judith is here. She's back in Martin.
Oh. What's it going to be? A big wedding or just a simple little affair at the club?
Oh, no. Judith is not going to marry Dave Boyce. Oh, yes, that's right. Boyce and Judith are not going to be married.
Well, I thought you allowed her to make her own decisions.
It wasn't my decision. Or Judith's. Boyce took off to Europe, Paul. He gave Judith the heave-ho. My daughter, he gave my daughter walking papers.
Huh. What am I supposed to do about it? Wait a minute. What did he leave her for?
Because he didn't want to marry her.
Why?
Well, because he didn't, that's all.
Why?
Because Judith is pregnant.
Boyce has skipped. Judith is pregnant and Boyce has skipped.
I said a few minutes ago that I never asked any man in the world to do me a favor. I never begged for anything until now. This is the time. Paul, I want you to remarry Judith.
Remarry?
That's what I said. Now listen to what I have to say and then give me your answer. Just don't interrupt me, that's all. Listen until I've completely finished.
If you think that I'm...
Now wait. Listen to my offer.
Offer? I don't
Please,
want
Paul,
any.
please, just hear me out. That's all I'm asking. Listen, Paul. Life is a pretty rough deal 99% of the time. In fact, it stops being storybook stuff along about the time you learn to crawl. The main idea of life is to survive. Build and survive. That's all there is.
This isn't my night for philosophy.
Now, listen. Paul, Judith wants that baby. I want that baby. I'm not kidding anybody. Judith is my only child. I want a grandson. I'm a good man. My kind deserves to go on. I'm not kidding myself.
Maybe you're wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Some mistakes have been made. Of course they have. They can be set right. Listen, Paul. Marry Judith. Give the child a name. Your name. Like you said, Raven is a name. A good name. All right. Give the child a name. Let it have a father. Because if you won't, Paul, I don't know what Judith will do. What's more, I don't even like to think about it.
Well, I'll tell you
Now, wait a minute, please. I know you hate Judith right now, sure. But that'll pass. And even if it doesn't, you can separate later on. Go your own ways later on. Meantime, well, if you have no objection, I'll be entirely willing to put a very considerable amount of money in your name.
You want me to give the child my name?
How do you know the child isn't yours?
Because I know. And a bribe doesn't help any either, Mr. Lodge. The answer to your request is a flat, plain, straight, final no.
Judith says the child is yours.
Judith lies. Your daughter's a liar, Mr. Lodge. And I can tell you a few other words that fit your daughter very well. A whole list of them.
Folks, here's a whole book on the subject of headaches. You know, when you get all through reading it, you still come back to one very simple fact. And that is that when the pain of headache, neuritis, or rheumatism strike, there's only one thing that's really important to you, and that's getting rid of that pain fast, just like that. Well, sir, that's why you should know about Anacin and the incredibly fast relief Anacin brings you. You see, Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proved active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. It's this combination of ingredients working together that accounts for the incredibly fast, effective relief Anacin brings you. In fact, thousands and thousands of physicians and dentists give Anacin to their patients for the quick relief of the pain of headache, neuritis, or rheumatism. Anacin comes in tins of 12 and 30 tablets, economical bottles of 50 and 100 tablets. Today, get Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N. Anacin for fast pain relief.
The story so packed with emotional explosions Judith has just told makes one thing very clear. Revenge, maniacal and violent, is her overwhelming motive.
When the piercing pain of rheumatism, the misery of muscular ache or backache strike, reach for heat, the liniment that's strong yet doesn't burn. Heat penetrates deep to bring immediate relief to sore aching muscles. Wherever you hurt, just brush on heat. Heat penetrates to relieve pain deep in aching muscles, keeps working for hours to bring wonderful soothing comfort. Your pain seems to disappear. Heat is not oily or sticky, goes on easily with this handy applicator and dries in seconds. So for deep penetrating relief of the pain of rheumatism, muscle strain, or backache, get heat, the liniment that penetrates deep to bring immediate relief.
See The Secret Storm each weekday afternoon. And be sure to join us again tomorrow for Love of Life.